Quick, what were you wearing 3 Tuesdays ago? Well, hello brothers and sisters, welcome to Mission Zero. My name is Shawn, and this is Battle Cry, the show where we give you a theme that you can carry through the week to have a more positive outlook. So I've been watching a ton of videos this week from other creators that I love and support about how to reach your dreams and what to do to get to your dreams, and I love that and I talk about that myself. But one of the things that has really caught me is there's a lot of people that don't really know the nuts and bolts of the mechanics of how to set goals. So that's what we need to talk about today. So long ago in a land far, far away called 1981, there was a man named George Doran who wrote a book about management. And one of the things that he talked about in that book was setting goals. And he gave us actually one of the coolest tools ever to hit the product development sector. And this is how most companies now run with their goal setting. And that was to establish SMART goals. SMART is an acronym that means specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. So I want to dive through those a little bit real quick. So let's start with T. So T is time-bound, and what that really means is you have to put a due date on your goals. If you just have a goal that is, hey, let's lose 10 pounds, and you don't put a date on it, was that 10 pounds over your lifetime, 10 pounds over the next day? You don't really have any way to attach to that. So putting a due date on it does two things for you. One, it allows it to mean something to you and to be motivating. But two, most importantly, it accounts for the fact that we all have a tendency in this society to operate under procrastination. And so you'll put it off to the last possible minute. If you give yourself a due date, you have a last possible minute that you can calibrate against. So then let's talk about R, which is relevant. I think a lot of people kind of get tossed up in this one. So when you are setting a goal, say for example, I want to start a business. If you then decide, well, I need a website and I want to make my own website, so I'm going to have a goal that is become a web developer. You've just set a goal that is in direct tangent to your actual objective. You can't do that. You have to make sure that whatever goals you set are absolutely relevant to your end objective. So then that brings us to A, which is achievable. So this is a thing that I think a lot of us tend to fool ourselves about, right? You say, I'm gonna run 5 miles every single day, but you've never run more than 10 feet to the kitchen. That's not realistic. You're never going to achieve that goal. And so what you need to do then is pick something that is kind of in your skill set. Hey, I can get up and I can walk 2 miles a day, or I can walk, jog, run 2 miles 3 times a week, right? You've got to pick goals that are achievable for you and your lifestyle. Not just that they're achievable for someone else, but that they're achievable and realistic for you. M is measurable. Now, measurable is really critical because one of the things that's absolutely true, and I've talked about this before, if you want to reach your goals, you need someone to help hold you accountable. And so measurable is how you do that. This is not, I want to lose weight. This is, I want to lose 10 pounds by December 10th, working out 3 days a week, right? This gives somebody and yourself something to measure against and to see progress in. And that is so critical, because we all know the thing where like New Year's Eve rolls around and you make a resolution that you're gonna go jog 3 times a week, and then the first day you get up and you're ready to go and you're raring, and the second day comes, you're kind of sore from the last time, and you're tired and it's cold outside, you just don't really want to do that, and by the third time you've just blown this whole thing away. This measurable step, this is what really helps you with that. And so then that just leaves S, specific. Now, this is probably 80% of being able to achieve your goals is being specific about them. And this is the difference between get in shape and lose 10 pounds, right? Get in shape, what does that mean? Do you want to put on weight? Do you want to drop weight? Do you want to add strength? Do you want to get leaner? What does that mean to you? And specific is how you get there. And so I know it sounds super buzzwordy, and why would you care about that? Is because we can remember broad strokes, but the details really we don't hold on to. And when it comes to setting your goals, it's critical that you be able to enunciate what those details are and that you remember them. And SMART is a way of doing that because you phrase them in a real specific way that they embed themselves in your brain. But more importantly, you can write them down. And once you've written them down, now you can carry them with you everywhere. Now you can actually track your own progress. You can use those to motivate yourself in the dark of night at 4 a.m. when you know you need to get up and go run, but you just don't want to. Knowing that you are pushing towards this specific time-bound goal gives you that motivation, gives you that accountability that you just so desperately need. But by the same token, there is another reason that you need to be able to detail your goals. And it's because the average person, and study after study has shown this, the average person can only retain in their memory 3 to 5 goals at any one time. And so if you're anything like me, that seems like a ridiculously low number, right? If you sit down to list the goals of things that you want to do, it's immeasurable, right? There's hundreds of things that are on that list. But what you have to do is that you filter down to just the things that are relevant to your objective, 3 to 5 things that you really want to focus on, and let the rest drop. And so there is my exhortation for us this week. There's the thing we all need to do, and I'm going to be doing it alongside you. Write down your 3 to 5 goals. Some of them can be short, some of them can be long term, but the 3 to 5 things that you want to focus on to get you to your objective. Keep them SMART, keep them specific, keep them measurable, keep them achievable, keep them relevant, keep them time bound. Because that is what's going to allow you to create motivating goals that you will want to achieve. And so take that and be the you-iest you can possibly be. And may God pour out blessings of productivity and motivation and resilience for you this week as you do this. And I love you so, so much. Peace out.